Imagine a man who has lived alone for years. His daily routine is shaped by solitude, and his world is quiet, predictable, and entirely his own. Over time, this isolation begins to influence how he perceives the world, especially when it comes to relationships and women. In this video, we'll explore how prolonged solitude can shape a man's perspective, sometimes in surprising ways. We'll look at the subtle changes in attitude, the emotional shifts, and the new ways of thinking that emerge when a man spends a significant amount of time alone. Let's begin by understanding the foundation of this transformation. Living alone allows a man to develop routines that are entirely his own. There's a certain comfort in knowing that every decision, from what to eat to how to spend the evening, is made without compromise. Over time, this independence can become deeply ingrained. The idea of sharing space or making room for someone else's preferences may start to feel foreign or even inconvenient. This comfort zone can make the prospect of inviting a woman into his life seem disruptive, even if he once longed for companionship. Solitude stretches on, a man's expectations of women can shift. Without regular interaction, he may begin to idealize or even misunderstand women. Media, memories, and imagination fill the gaps left by real-life experience. Sometimes this leads to unrealistic standards or a sense of mystery around women. Other times, it can foster a sense of distance or even skepticism. The longer he remains alone, the more his expectations are shaped by his own thoughts rather than actual experiences. One of the most profound changes is emotional self-sufficiency. When a man lives alone, he learns to rely on himself for comfort, entertainment, and even emotional support. This self-reliance can be empowering, but it can also make him less open to emotional vulnerability with others. The idea of sharing feelings or depending on someone else may seem unnecessary or even risky. This shift can make it challenging to connect deeply with women, as the walls built for self-protection become harder to lower. With time, a man who lives alone may start to see relationships differently. Instead of viewing them as sources of joy and connection, he might focus on the potential challenges or sacrifices involved. The thought of adjusting his lifestyle, habits, or space for someone else can seem daunting. He may begin to question whether the benefits of a relationship outweigh the comfort of solitude. This new perspective can make him more selective, cautious, or even hesitant when it comes to pursuing romantic connections. Another subtle effect of prolonged solitude is the fading of social skills. Without regular interaction, a man may find it harder to engage in small talk, read social cues, or express himself comfortably around women. Awkwardness can replace confidence, and the fear of rejection may grow stronger. This can create a feedback loop, where the discomfort of socializing leads to even more isolation, making it increasingly difficult to break the cycle and form new connection. A man spends a long time alone. He may start to idealize women or relationships, imagining them as perfect solutions to loneliness. However, reality often doesn't match these fantasies. Real relationships require effort, compromise, and understanding. The gap between idealization and reality can lead to disappointment or frustration when he finally does interact with women. Recognizing this difference is an important step toward building healthier, more realistic expectations. Despite these challenges, it's possible for a man to break the cycle of solitude and reconnect with women in meaningful ways. It often starts with small steps, reaching out, being open to new experiences, and allowing vulnerability. Building trust and understanding takes time, but it's worth the effort. By acknowledging the effects of prolonged solitude, a man can begin to reshape his perspective and approach relationships with a healthier, more balanced mindset. In the end, living alone for a long time can deeply influence how a man sees women and relationships. But with awareness and effort, it's possible to move beyond the habits and mindsets shaped by solitude. Embracing vulnerability, seeking genuine connection, and letting go of unrealistic expectations can open the door to richer, more fulfilling relationships. The journey may not be easy, but it's a path worth taking for anyone ready to rediscover the value of companionship.